Guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my first ever anti-haul. I love watching these videos because I find it fascinating not only what people are going to buy but also what they're not going to buy and why that is. So I have quite a few things on my list this year, mostly holiday palettes that I will not be buying, and I'm going to tell you why. So let's just get into it. So first up, I have all of the Too Faced holiday palettes and sets. I have never been all that impressed with the Too Faced line in general. I really like their melted lipsticks and a few other things, but most of their eyeshadows I have never been super impressed with. So I probably won't be purchasing them, especially because I know that they have put out a ton of stuff this year, and I've just heard that a lot of it is hit or miss. So this kind of also includes the chocolate chip palettes. People are going absolutely crazy, absolutely insane for these palettes, and while the white chocolate chip palette looks really pretty, I've just heard that the color payoff is really patchy and hit or miss in the entire palette, and that the dark chocolate chip palette is really hard to work with. Comment down below if that is incorrect or what your experience with these palettes are, but I have just heard that they're not all that great, and I don't want to spend my money on something if it's not going to be all that wonderful. Other than that, they have the Merry Macaroons palette, the Grand Hotel Cafe palettes, things like that. I don't know. I just find all of it very gimmicky, and I'm not a super holiday palette person to begin with, just because of the different formulas, the different factories, and just the different quality that you tend to get because they are trying to fulfill so many orders. So Too Faced is something I'm just going to skip over completely this holiday season. Next up, we have the Kat Von D Metal Matte Palette. I have heard this is amazing. I've heard the quality is out of this world and that you have such a variety of colors, but I'm just not interested in it. I just don't look at it and get excited. There are so many Kat Von D products that I love and that I am interested in buying, gifting, or getting this Christmas. The Metal Matte is just not one of them. I think it's amazing that you have the metallic with the mattes, but there's just something about it that I look at it and just go, meh. I've also heard that it's ginormous, and I just don't have the space to store a palette that big, so that is something that I will be skipping over. Next up, I have the Urban Decay Full Spectrum palette. It's not so much a holiday palette, it's more just something that just came out. I'm just not all that interested. I just purchased the Electric palette from Urban Decay. I am absolutely in love with it. I think it's beautiful. You don't get so many shades as you do in the Full Spectrum, but I think that is just as many as a person could need, as many colorful shadows as a person needs is in that Electric palette, and I just don't feel like I need the Full Spectrum palette. I know some people have said that it is very hit or miss, that some show up wonderfully and some you can only use wet and things like that, and I don't tend to foil or wet my eyeshadows, so it's just not something that I need, especially because I have the Electric palette and that is just perfect for me. Along with Urban Decay, I am not going to be purchasing the Vice lipstick palettes. I may try one out just because now they're on sale, and $35 for that palette just seemed ridiculous to me. Now that it's down to $25, it's more in my price range that I would be interested in it, but lip palettes I have never used. I have the MAC Viva Glam Lip palette, and I just never reach for it. I think it's way better that the Urban Decay one comes with a lip brush and that people really like the lip brush. I'm just not a person who uses lip brushes and who finds myself needing a lip palette at all. I also think it's really annoying and bulky to carry around with you. It's really only good for travel, and it's not like I travel all that often. I just won't be picking that one up. I mean, it has great shades, and if you are interested in trying out the Vice lipsticks, it might be a good option for you, but I would much rather buy the individual lipsticks that I'm interested in than getting the full palette and never using it. Next up, we have the Hourglass Edit palette. I have gotten the Hourglass Ambient Lighting palette and the blush palettes in the past, and I really enjoy them. So because of that, I just don't feel like I need this Edit palette. People have said amazing things about it, and I felt the same way about the Hourglass palette they put out last year. I just don't need it, so it's just not something that I'm drawn toward. It's beautiful. The marble packaging is just so pretty, and I definitely think if you have someone on your list who has never tried the Hourglass palettes or really is into marble or anything like that, it's a perfect gift. It's just so pricey, and I just can't make it work with my budget considering I already have the ambient lighting and the blush palette. Next up, we have the Smashbox palettes. Pretty much everything that Smashbox has put out lately, I'm just not interested in, from their holiday palettes to their new pocket size palettes. They have so many of them, and some people are so excited about them. I can't quite remember what they're called, the new ones that they put out, the smaller ones, but I just don't get excited. And I feel like a way about a lot of Smashbox products. I just don't get excited. They just kind of make me go, meh. So I won't be picking up anything from that line. Next up, we have all of the Tarte Holiday Eye Palettes. I've just heard that these are not great, that the quality is not there, and it's not what you expect from Tarte. I love my Tartelette in Bloom, so I feel like if you are looking to get someone a really good Tarte palette, that is the one to go for. The holiday ones, there's a ton of colors and all this like different differentiation and things, but I've just heard that the quality isn't there, and I've swatched them in stores and they just kind of so I will not be picking up any of the Tarte eye palettes. And this goes for the same for their blush wheel. I have had the blush palette, the Tarte blush palettes that they put out every year on my list for like 4 years straight. I finally got one last year and I was so excited. They've always sold out on me. So because I have that, I think it's like 4 or 5 blushes. I feel like I don't need like the 8 or 10 that come in the wheel. And also the ones in the wheel, there's not a lot of differentiation in the blushes, and I find that in the entire Tarte line. They just have very muted, wearable colors, but like there's nothing like red or purple or like bright pink. It's all just kind of the same tone, or not tone, but same like kind of dusty colors. And they all come off very wearable, but there's nothing super exciting in any of them. So I feel like I don't need this palette because it's just like more of what I already have, if that makes sense. Next up, we have the Tarteist Lip Set, which is something I was so excited when it came out because I really do like the Tarte matte lip paints. These I have swatched, I have watched a lot of reviews on, and yet again, the Tarte holiday line feels like there's not a lot of differentiation in shades, and I'm just not interested in having a bunch of different lipsticks that are the exact same color, exact same brand, and that come in this giant set. It's just not interesting. They don't have any like exciting bold colors. They have maybe like one red, one more plummy shade. Most of them are nudes, and most of the nudes look exactly the same. I am all for having different shades of nudes, but in one set, and it's all just like the same kind of nude. It doesn't make sense to me, so it's just not worth the price tag. Next up, and probably last up for this video, is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Glow palette that they put out. I think it's amazing that the actual packaging like glows in the dark, but it looks really cheap. I have touched it, I've played with it. It just looks really cheap, and the quality of the highlighters is just so They're chunky, they're not super glowy, they're not what you expect from Anastasia. I have played with their other glow kits. I've never actually owned one just because I don't feel like I need it. And the quality, it just doesn't match up. So I feel like while it's great that you get 6 instead of 4 and it's probably a better deal, the quality's not there, so it's not worth the money at all. And I think it's about time that we stop the negativity today. Coming up on my channel, I will be having some gift guides, a lot of other Christmassy videos that I'm super excited for, a holiday tag, which my friend Sydney is very excited for. She's got a little theme song planned for it. I don't know. But yes, thank you guys so much for watching today. Comment, like, subscribe, all the normal stuff, and I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Bye.